Hello, air signs. So we have a mixed bag here um, of people and energies, to be honest. We have, in the present, we have a lot of um, water signs. In the past, there's earthy energy. In the future, there's, I hear groundedness, but there's like in your environment air energy, which I would expect as your air sign, but it's in your environment. So maybe your environment is shifting to fit you better, let's say. Um, there is this theme of a new beginning, a new start, and I think it popped up also in my previous readings. But there's something keep happening here for some reason that's sort of like, I think it's confusing you. Maybe you're confused about how to start this, how to do this, how to proceed forward. Um, hmm, Again, I get this. Maybe you have other people like children involved, so maybe that's one of the issues that you're tackling with, as in to make again your environment also adapt to their needs, or you just inner wounds comes to mind. You might have some inner wounds that you're facing currently. So this is with the lovers, with the Two of Cups twice, with the Prince of Cups, King of Cups. It seems like a love reading. I think it involves love in general. And it might be, because we have very similar cards, it might be connected to the water signs as well. I shuffled the cards multiple times and I set my intention and I, you know, cleansed them and whatnot. So it's like, what's the point of doing um, like elementary different readings if the same cards keep popping up, you know? But I say, okay, maybe they're related. Let's say maybe that it is for a specific collective that have also water signs, a strong water signs in their chart. So there's that. What I get here, like as first impressions, because I kept getting the same cards from two different decks, like clarifying the same with the same cards. So it's like, why am I getting as clarifying cards the same cards? I understand it's the same energy, but um, so maybe you're getting either the same results. You keep getting the same results. So a few of the things that I got while laying out the cards were invitation. So the word invitation came. Not sure if it's lack of invitation or it will be an invitation soon. Um, as the cards are laid out in the present, it doesn't seem to be an invitation here, a lack of it. But it might have been, all right, it might have been in the past, in the recent past invitation, because it came, the energy that came after that was passionate energy with the Prince of Wands here and the Two of Cups. So there might have been some sort of invitation uh, followed by, I hear rebirth, followed by a rebirth of passionate energy or something like that. So something may have stirred you up. It doesn't necessarily have to be like an actual, like your greeting card, like an actual, it might have been just something showing up as an invitation, not necessarily verbalized, or written. Another word that came while I was laying out the cards, I got really angry. And I don't, delivering the cards, because cards wouldn't, especially clarifying cards, wouldn't pop up, wouldn't, I don't know, I got really frustrated. So there's like an angry energy vibes here. So maybe this is an element when I said like you're dealing with like maybe childhood wounds. Maybe anger is a strong manifestation for you. And considering the environment with the Five of Wands and the Knight of Swords and the Page of Swords, and one of the other words that came to mind was harsh words. So there might be some anger issues here, especially that on your mind we have the Ace of Swords reversed with the Eight of Wands upright. So this is communication. Might be also travel, because we have six. So you have maybe travel on your mind. So maybe specific destination or whatnot, especially with the Six of Swords reversed. But when it's paired like with Ace, which is communication, truth, clarity, with the Eight of Wands, it's like, I hear stumbling blocks. It's like stumbling blocks for correct communication, let's say, appropriate one. So there might be some anger issues here. Then the last two things were moving along there is fear of being loved. So we have no fears and obstacles with the Ace of Cups and the Nine of Cups. Fear of being loved. We'll have to explore that. And the last thing was sorrowful beginning, because we have the Fool twice, and as I said, it is on your mind and how you see yourself. I think you see yourself as ready for a new beginning, but this whole reading gives like missed opportunity vibes, or confusion vibes, or just maybe had to let go of something, and or to face something, to clear up something. It came to mind, again, the water sign reading, where when I laid down those cards, I was like, what is going on? You know, it's like every card was turned around. It's like every potential positive thing. We had the devil, we had all sorts of, you know, coping mechanisms. Like, it's like those were potentially good cards, but it was as if like the situation was turned around and it's like flipped on its side. It's like, what is happening? And the idea that came to mind was like there was this concept of the sun shining through, as to highlight whatever sickening comes on, whatever situations, unhealthy situations, bounds were that were being projected, and that potential positive circumstances, situation. So it's as if they had to be, it's as if you have like water, still water, and there's like the mud coming up as to clear. It's like filtering the water, basically. It's like a filter, and you have to pollute it comes to mind. It's like polluted water. You have to filter all the rubbish inside, as to maintain the clarity of the water, which may be connected to the clarity here of the mind. So it's as if things are purging or bubbling, you know, as to mend whatever needs to be mended. So in the present, we have the Page of Cups reversed, crossed by the King of Cups reversed. So this is a heavily water sign reading. So you either, because while laying the cards, I got also the Two of Cups, not the Two of Cups. I do have the two of Cups. I got the Queen of Cups as well, but it was in the position of how you see yourself. So you had the Queen of Cups alongside the Queen of Swords. So you might have like a strong water energies in your chart as well, and you're maybe going back and forth between them as to logic and emotion, logic and reasoning and emotion. It's like trying to balance that thing out, which makes sense because in how you see yourself, we have temperance as well. So balancing, you know. In this case, I hear an unhealed trauma. So there's something that you're purging right now. There were some delays, there were some blockages, pessimism, cynicism, emotional imbalance, inexpressed feelings. Maybe you are dealing with a water sign, or somebody who has a strong water element in their chart. You're in the present. Maybe you were waiting for an offer from them, but it didn't get through, or you were thinking of offering something, but due to some lack of clarity, maybe anger issues, something got triggered here. Something got triggered. I think you're processing something at the moment. Your intention is to process, to finish, to end, whatever this is, one way or the other. I think you were hoping for a love connection to happen. It's like naturally occur, but it didn't. And that made you angry, triggered you, especially because your fears, if your fear is fear of being loved, then you'll have to face all the inadequacies that you were sort of justifying by the fact of being undeserving of love or not being good enough. So if somebody would love you as you are, or would offer you love, that would trigger emotions, would trigger new emotions, a fierce competition among your mind and your body as who to take over, especially with the passionate invitation here in the recent past with the Prince of Wands, safety net. You either need a safety net to retrieve to, or you have one which may not be totally good for you in this case. Maybe there was a time where you've given up in experiencing something. Maybe you're at this certain stage in your life. I think you might be like a mature person, relatively mature, where you've given up on something, like experiencing. Somebody just crashed, a car crashed another one. They're trying to get out the parking space, but it's like bouncing, pushing the car. So what I'm struggling is with this fear of being loved, because I'm trying to get into it's like sort of like tap into its frequency as to understand what it means. What I'm getting is like, because I think that's the obstacle here to a certain degree. It's as if when you're used to getting your love in a certain manner, or earning your love, or being detached from it, or not getting it unconditionally, not being accepted for who you are, especially as a child with the Six of Cups, then we might get like a bit cynical about it. And if you were blown away in the recent past by a certain connection, you may be, again, we're hopeful that your perspective could be wrong. So maybe you were, it's getting disappointment comes here. Maybe that's the sorrowful beginning. So maybe you were sort of like thrown into, blown, because windfall came to mind before. It's like you were taking out so imagine an apple blown away from the tree and put it on the ground, that kind of situation. So you were taking out from the tree the usual circumstances, and you were thrown into this new field, detached from your usual pattern. So something like not necessarily unexpected, but it's sort of, yeah, it was unexpected, but it doesn't have to be like eventful. It might be just like you met somebody, or you got a new love interest, or something like that, and it sort of like took you out, took you on this new pathway that you thought you would start, and it didn't, at least not presently, and you're sort of like returning to this idea of, oh, I was right before. So it's as if you're getting angry at yourself because you allowed yourself to feel differently, to possibly have hope. So things are not working right now. So there might be some healing that needs to be done regarding these inner wounds. Consistency comes to mind. Consistency in separation. Consistency of love and separation. I'm still not connecting to that part. We'll see. As the base pattern, we have the Lovers. Again, partnerships, clarified by the Ten of Pentacles. So this is family life, abundance in family. So it's like healing family issues, structural issues, which relates to, again, commitment, again, unity, support, exchange of expressions, finances, your idealized world. So you might have, maybe you might go to extremes, as in there might be like a certain standard, a certain idealized world in your head, in your mind, that it didn't match up in the past, and at the same time, and in the present, and at the same time, you're sort of like afraid to match it up. The strive for it. So letting go of the strive for it, of feelings of being unworthy, not being able to sustain it or show up for it. It's like trying to gain love, someone's love. It's like a change of perspective. You just do maybe to gain somebody's love in a certain way or another, and it's like when children are if you're being a good boy or a good girl, then I'll love you, that kind of situation. So it's conditional. So maybe opening up to love may signify for you having to give something back that you either don't want to because you have like this, you might be like a certain, you might have been hurt in the past. Maybe you've given, you've tried, and it didn't work out, and there might be some resentment there. And now when you have a new possibility to be loved again, there's like this possible mental exchange of, I hear obsession, compulsion, obsessive behavior, where you need to push back against it, something like that. Um, because if you feel undeserving, I don't think it's about being undeserving here. There is a certain element of that which is tied into it, but I think the main thing comes, especially with the King of Swords in your environment. I see him like, because we have the Emperor here, we have the King of Swords. Usually, especially these two together, usually it's a good card. But while I was seeing him, I saw him like this. So it's like, no, I'm not going to do anything about it. So it's like you want proof, you want something, you want um, someone to get out of their way when you're the one who should be getting out of your way at the moment, to be honest, I think. But you expect somebody to get out of their way to show you something. Um, it's like being fearful of being taken advantage of, or to give something and not receive, again, with enough stuff. So, like this unbalanced way of give and take, because love means that, means give and take, means productivity. Possibly that's one scenario for some of you guys there. I'm saying that also because in the recent past we have the King of Pentacles reversed as a clarifying card for, again, the Prince of Wands upright and the Two of Cups upright. Other clarifying cards were the Two of Cups reversed and the Eight of Swords reversed. Again, I think you were, before you had a certain blindfold on, and you maybe there was, yes, so there was this passionate maybe energy that you were, it's like bursting, and it's sort of like, I think, open up your eyes to a certain degree to what was sort of missing in your life. So it was if, like when a fire gets lit or you get inspired, and maybe you were focused mainly on your career and you're focused on your own self. Yeah, there's like control issues here. He was controlling, he was detached, he stubborn. It's like there was this thing happening but not happening at the same time. So you might have, so this is into, with this King of Pentacles, might be two scenarios. You either dealt in the past with an earth sign, with whom maybe you had disagreements or fallout or something, or this is you in your energies in the past, because it's a clarifying card. So we have to see how that applies, because it's clarifying more the Prince of Wands. So there's like this fiery nature. It might be that you were like stubborn, again comes to mind. It's like stubbornly focused on maybe your career and your work and being productive and getting your finances. It's like materialism, superficial, maybe a bit shallow, because he's reversed. So he's mainly focused on that, especially with the Two of Cups reversed. There was lack of potential partnerships, lack of partnerships. Dwindled comes to mind. So being less than what actually you were. Yeah, but there is like, you got a new spark, a new opportunity here, and it didn't pan out, at least as you wanted to. I hear there's no effort put in. There's no effort put in. Either from the other side, or you, or both. And I think this brought you to being a bit upset, basically. Because on your mind, we have the Ace of Swords. It's like, what's happening? With the Eight of Wands, communication. Blockage of communication, or just improper communication, or unclear, or confusion, or that kind of thing. Maybe untruthful communication as well. Maybe you thought, okay, this is psychologically, physically, as a human being, I felt something that resonated within me, but what's manifesting is not quite. So there's like a disconnect there. It's not quite what I hoped it would be. So it's like triggering different anxieties and issues that may match more my past energies, where again, cynicism and detachment and like the idea of this love, unconditional love, or being loved for who you are instead of what you can produce, or something like that, is becoming, it's sort of like there's like a contradiction there, it's like, I hoped that would be the case, but since it's not manifesting, I think it might not be. So there's like conflict there. So the clarifying cards were death, again, ending, and the Fool. So it's like you're thinking of a new beginning and communicating about it, rash decision making came to mind, which is again another theme of the water sign reading. Impulsiveness, maybe impulsiveness and decision making. So there's like fearful energy here. There's a lot being driven by fear, and there's confusion. I believe you're gonna, which is funny because you see yourself balanced and ready for the future. Yeah, I think there's some anger here. It's like, I know I am. Why is that going? And maybe this anger is like a manifestation of, it's like your inner child or inner teenager is trying to rebel against the sense of injustice of things not coming out as you thought, and I hear punishing yourself. You're punishing yourself for maybe not being good enough or not being a good girl, a good boy, or whatever, because actually accepting yourself, your own limitations, especially if you have like an idealized way of being, accepting that you have your own issues, it might be more difficult. So it's easier to sort of like punish yourself, like you have this judgment, unexpressive and unbalanced way of dealing with your emotional side, I believe. It's hard to contain them. You want love, but you're fearful of being loved because that would mean to release whatever past hurts you had in the past, and overcome potential insecurities. In the near future, we have the Emperor. I see, like doing that. So I think you're grounding yourself. I hear gaining new stability and the clarifying. Oh, and we have another card we have was Prince of Pentacles reversed, which is weird because we have the Emperor here that is extending an offer, and we have the Prince of Pentacles reversed, which is also extending an offer. So they have the same gesture, but this one is reversed. So it's as if you're ready to extend an offer, but you're not. The clarifying cards are the Six of Cups upright, the Eight of Cups reversed. You're getting your inner stability with the Page of Swords. I think you're doubting yourself, but it's also not doubting yourself in a bad way, as in I think you're double checking. Here you go, double crossing situations. And I think you're trying to overcome, you're trying in the near future, you'll try to overcome all this, especially with the knowledge that you're getting out of this, and you're structuring yourself and you're stabilizing yourself. I think you're tapping into your more masculine energy, but it's not, it's an archetype. So it's like you're healing past wounds, but you're very careful, cautious in how to approach this, how to tackle these delays, these I want to say slow movements, or non-movements. So you're putting yourself in a position of authority and power and responsibility, as if you're gaining yourself out of the situation. So you've experienced all this mishmash. At the moment, there's no love production here. So it's like, okay, let me step out of this energy. Let me gather myself together. And because the way you see yourself is the Temperance upright and the Fool upright, because I'm ready for a new beginning. I know I can. My mind is set up on it. Somehow something will have to end and something will have to begin, because the past world isn't enough anymore and the new one seems to be delayed. So there's something in between happening. Again, this is another element of the water sign. I keep repeating this. The clarifying cards for how you see yourself is the Ten of Cups reversed for the Temperance. It's as if you're healing, you're being guided to heal, you're being helped, I believe, also. But moderation in how, again, maybe how you view yourself and your relationships and your family and stuff, and the outpouring of emotions, let's say. So you're balancing those, maybe also expectations, because if you have like this idealized way, maybe you have like higher expectations of what love could actually be, how relationships should be, that kind of situation. And another clarifying card was the Ten of Wands reversed. So it's, I hear unburdening yourself. You're trying to unburden yourself and clarify whatever anger management, whatever. I hear like where responsibilities actually lay, and because maybe in the past you've been overburdened and that created some resentment, and again fear of being accepted. You nurture the fear of being accepted for who you are, because you'll recognize the injustice in the past and in the present, and how you approach yourself in within yourself, with your own emotions, with maybe your own inner child or inner teenager or whatnot. So it's as if acknowledging actually your hurts and your approach now, maybe as an adult, so facing your own limitations and your own actions and misbehavior, let's say. So you're like, you know, like that. Your environment is, again, King of Swords upright, so especially with the Emperor. I think, honestly, this is you, that, but maybe you have a father figure that's an air sign as well, with whom you have like a conflictual relationship. So maybe considering it's a childhood thing, maybe you're trying your environment. I say conflictual because we have the Five of Wands with it, doubts, conflict, rivalries, that kind of situation. And the clarifying card was the Knight of Swords upright. So moving forward bluntly, going for whatever you want, communicating. So maybe you're standing up for yourself within your environment, with maybe a specific person. Maybe it's a family member with whom you share, like maybe you've got these attributes, let's say, from them, because that was a way of processing their own emotions. Uh, maybe mother figure, but I don't think it's like this is more a male energy. So yeah, so it depends, like who has the more masculine in your family at this point. It doesn't have to be like actual man, you know. But yeah, in this case, maybe a father figure or somebody, or you're just standing up in your environment to eliminate those doubts and clarify it basically and express what you want. But you like shift. I think it's like you're shifting from this chaotic emotion into a more structured embrace. I hear embrace your air quality, because you are an air sign, so embrace your inner balance, let's say, with the Temperance and the Fool, and your expressiveness. There's a lot of do with mental clarity and expressiveness and inner authority and inner power, and there's like a strong vibe of masculine energy, so a structured way of ordering chaos, so putting things in order and standing up against any, if there are like conflict, doubts, rumors, you're like, no, I'm not having that. It's like I'm clarifying that. The fear and obstacles. Again, we have Ace of Cups, clarified by None of Wands. Fear of getting what you want as you want it, basically. We've talked about it multiple times in this reading already. Fear of being loved, of seeing things actually actualized, and embracing that, basically embracing that situation. It is fearful too, because it's a different side of you that maybe hasn't been nurtured properly in the past, and the fact that you need to embrace it now, it's sort of like scary, because you have to face everything else that has kept it alive. I hear it has kept it alive to a certain degree, but not well nurtured, you know. Potential outcome, we have, again, we have the Prince of Swords, which is the Knight of Swords, upright, standing in your own, and another card we've had, the Six of Wands reversed. The clarifying cards were the Five of Pentacles reversed and the Ace of Pentacles reversed. So it's like it's like getting out of the state of self-misery and commiseration, you know, getting out of the state of commiseration. And I think be careful with your, if you have like anger management issues, I think it's good you're stepping into this into this into your expressive nature, but it's more logical nature than emotional here, and we're talking about emotions. So just be careful of balancing. I believe you are balancing yourself properly between these two, because before, as I said, I saw in the two other cards, Queen of Cups and Queen of Swords came. So you're juggling between the two aspects. So it's as if you want to get out of the situation, try to express it. That's great, because you're getting out of it. But be careful of overly expressing, or expressing it harshly, because with harsh words came to mind. Because we have Knight of Wands, Knight of Wands again. Then we have Page of Swords again. So they're all upright. So it's good. Especially King of Swords again. So this is a strong air energy here. So with the Emperor here, you're embracing that. It's amazing. I love this for you. But on your mind currently, we have the Ace of Swords reversed. So if this is your mind, where you don't actually see the whole truth, you don't have all the clarity, but you are communicating, be careful what you're communicating, how you're communicating, how much you're communicating, and actually don't overstep your boundaries, or try not to be an ass, basically, with this Six of Wands reversed, because beware of rash actions, where your anger might be triggering other people to see you in a different light, you know. And I'm not saying it's your responsibility, but it is to a certain degree in how you express yourself, what you communicate. Be aware of self-doubt, and here being the bad guy here. I think you're cleaning this up, your willingness for a new beginning, like your impatience may lead you to come off the wrong way, let's say. So I'm not saying to stay on the situation, or to, be careful of extremes. That's all I'm saying. Be careful of extremes, of idealized things, and also of cynical things, cynical ways of behaving, because that will affect your expression. So look at these sort of like easy does it. I think there's still something I want to say, but be aware of your environment. I think you're on a good track here, to be honest. And I think the main issue for this not happening with the potential union that was here, or a few potential future unions, was lack of expression. The willingness is present. The concreteness, the manifestation of it hasn't happened because of lack of expression, which was blocked because of other. You were taken out of your routine, put in a new situation, and you had to go through this whole thing. But I think you're clarifying this, you're understanding this, you're stepping into your power, you're clearing your energy, and be aware of not going back to your old ways. Improve the old ways, Try, if you want a new beginning, try to adapt a new approach where you still you integrate like a King of Cups with your King of Swords, where you have both sides rather than following just one with the swords, just going forward with the swords. Yes, expressing, but integrating this, shifting this around can help you become richer, let's say, in terms of as a human being, and to not let your inner child, inner teenager, whatever, be neglected again, because that will build up more resentment, more anger, blah, blah, blah. So it's the same thing. So just be aware of what you cut off, how you communicate, basically. Keep yourself in check. That's all, basically. And communicate. It's good you're going through this. You're returning to your nature, basically, and in a sword-like way, after integrating some of your emotional sides. Just great. Follow through. I hear follow through. Actioning on it. Action on it. You're actioning on it. And whatever this is, you're deciding to action on it. However that may manifest for you. You're deciding to do something about this. Maybe potential, but unrequited love, or unrequited, what you're seeing as unrequited love, or lack of new beginning. Stepping out as sorrowful, uncelebrated energy. So I think there is a potential here with the Six of Wands. It's maybe not the way that you see it. Maybe you're focused on a specific way of being loved again, and being accepted and interacting. There's a shift here. Maybe the fact that you don't have the clarity, it indicates that you're expecting this thing to go a certain way, and it's not, and you're fearful of being hurt again, and accepting love and being loved, that you're like sort of like transform the situation in uncelebratory, sorrowful circumstance, where, because the things are not manifesting as you wish, but it doesn't mean they aren't. It's just maybe they're a bit different, which I hate saying this because I get this also for myself, and it's like, well, how other way? But considering that you've discovered, you've implemented a new way in you, a new way of doing, it's like a different pathway needs to be taken here by integrating your emotional side with your mental side, let's say. So finding that new balance in order to have that depth, have that full, and turn this Six of Wands upright, as in to be victorious and again celebrated and accepted and glorified, let's say. So getting out of this energy, sorrowful energy, as to be in your power as an emperor, as a King of Swords, which is in your nature, because you have, and being upright in it and maintaining it, because you have like a background, a stable foundation of certain emotional stability. That's about it for now. Good luck.